We're back in Afghanistan. With our horse. Back at this base, actually. One we were at before. Because I want to show something off. If you remember last time we were out in the field, listening to tapes, we actually took this place over. And when you take over a base in the open world, it actually gets populated with your mother base soldiers.
Boss.
Look at that. Is what I would say if I wasn't totally lying. This is several of Infinite Heaven's features. One is to have custom soldier types in the missions. I've set out Diamond Dogs, Tiger Stripe Fatigue soldiers, and I've also used a debug feature to set everyone in the world to friendly.
Boss.
With the salute mod, that means we can salute them. But yeah, doesn't that seem like that should be a feature in the game? The more bases you take over, like eventually you'd go to infiltrate and find out, oh, I don't need to infiltrate at all. We took this over. But alas, not an actual feature of the game. We'll just pretend it is, though. Hey, let's listen to some tapes. I think we're going to want to listen to... Don't read these too much now. Let's listen to the one about copper ore.
I have the report on that cargo we stole from...
Remember that, when we stole an entire truck?
The was transporting two things. The analysis of that malachite has come back first.
Yeah, malachite.
Naturally, the main compound is copper. There's also a small amount of cobalt. Nothing unusual so far. Southern Zaire is a well-known copper belt. However, in addition to these, we also detected a trace amount of uranium.
Trace amounts of uranium,
the
huh?
percentage, though, is too low for nuclear development. It most likely came from Shinkalobwe mine. That's where the uranium in that area comes from.
Yep.
The mine's
We were there. We heard about that.
High-purity uranium ore dried up a long time ago, but you could probably still find it there in small quantities. That said, there are plenty of other uranium mines that are in operation, like in Niger, Namibia, South Africa. Why go to an abandoned mine to scrape up whatever's left and ship it out in mass quantities without refining it? They were transporting that yellow cake too, which would suggest they have the technology to refine uranium.
Ah, interesting.
Anyway, that about sums it up. Unfortunately, the analysis of that yellow cake is taking a little longer. I'll let you know when it's done.
All right. So again, that's just about the truck that we extracted before. Trace amounts of uranium coming from that mine.
Boss, sorry to keep you waiting.
No, that's my
We
line.
finally finished analyzing that yellow cake Cypher was moving. There was nothing unusual about the composition of the yellow cake itself. Most of it was oxidized uranium, with the rest being impurities, various metals, as well as traces of organic matter. What's interesting is the composition of these impurities. When we checked them against the impurities found in the copper ore, it was clear the yellow cake didn't come from Shinkalobwe.
Oh,
Meaning they went to the trouble of mining two sources of uranium.
interesting.
Transported them together in different states. Another thing,
Come on,
we
goats.
detected a very thin layer of highly enriched uranium in the middle
Enriched
of the yellow cake.
uranium.
Now that is very interesting.
That is interesting. It kind of
It may
goes
not be
hand in
a
hand
lot,
with what he said
but it
before
points to
about,
the
yeah,
existence of uranium-enriching
they might
technology.
have the tech to
After
enrich
all,
uranium.
Yellow cake can't naturally produce highly enriched uranium. If they could mass produce this, they'd be just one step away from a gun barrel type nuclear bomb. But uranium enrichment requires advanced technology and a large-scale facility. If that kind of place existed in Zaire, the Soviet Union wouldn't sit idly by. And there's another question. Where were they transporting the yellow cake and malachite uranium? The first place that comes to mind is South Africa. The government was supposed to have abandoned nuclear weapons development after caving to international pressure. But rumors persist that it's continued in secret. Plus, ZRS were escorting the truck, and they're based out of South Africa. And then South Africa does have an abandoned test site. If Cypher's involved with nuclear development in South Africa. But how would that fit with their weapon to surpass Metal Gear?
Ah,
We
yeah.
need more information.
Shinkolobwe. There's a name I haven't
Just kind of
heard in a
looking down
while.
here because it looks
The US
nice.
bought a lot of uranium from Shinkolobwe mine during World War II for the Manhattan Project.
Ah, the Manhattan
Even sent a
Project.
squad from the
Hey,
Army
remember
Corps of
Huey's
Engineers
dad
to
was
reopen the
involved with
mine
that.
after it was flooded. That's how good its uranium must have been. With that, the world's first nuclear test was a success. Shinkolobwe uranium might have been used in the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs too. Just hearing its name is like seeing all the phantoms of the war rise up to haunt us. But all the uranium's dried up, and the mine's been closed for years.
So someone reopened it.
Right. Zero-risk security seized control of the area and were forcing locals to work in it. And the Zairean government was getting a slice of what they took in exchange for looking the other way. Mobutu has to finance his tastes somehow. He'll gladly sell the rights to some old mine.
Looking good.
Question is,
Taking over the
why
world.
would zero-risk
Nice and fine
security
here.
do this kind of thing?
Or rather, why were their employers, Cypher, interested in an abandoned mine? They'd be getting trace amounts of uranium, yet to the naked eye it appears to be ordinary malachite, meaning security would be lax. Not a very efficient way of obtaining it, but easier to move.
But how would they enrich it at its destination?
Did the yellow cake really have a layer of highly enriched uranium in it?
Having trouble believing it?
No. If they say it's real, then it's real. In which case, they might have some enrichment method that we don't know about.
And this was to test it out.
It's possible. And that would mean it's almost complete.
So, right, that's meant to basically, I mean, you heard them, inform you of the idea that they've got some way to enrich uranium that doesn't require a large facility. You might be wondering what that has to do with the Devil's House and the biological experimentation going on. They are connected. And we'll find out how. But they do bring up that plot point about being able to enrich uranium. Now, of course, we know at this point in the story we're supposed to be dealing with an epidemic on Mother Base, so let's listen to this.
Those are the symptoms of the infection on Mother Base. The blisters on the body were full of tiny worms.
And of course,
Parasites
Boss is
are
out here
most
going on a
likely,
joyride
but we couldn't find any
with his
adults.
horse.
It doesn't seem to mature in the body, like a sparganum.
Ah, yes,
We
Sparganum.
don't know the root of infection, or what causes symptoms to develop. The infection rate, along with the number of dead, are both on the rise.
Oh, look, there's that glitch again. Thanks, Fox Engine.
And soon.
Boss, do you remember seeing these symptoms before? The bodies floating around in the oil facility, the bedridden test subjects at the Devil's House. This epidemic looks just like what we've seen on our hunt for Cypher. It could be a counterplay by Skullface.
That's insane. You mean they weaponize parasites?
Parasites as weapons. That definitely falls under the Biological Weapons Convention.
Oh,
That's something the world would never see coming. And no one's ever developed a vaccine for parasites.
yeah,
So
because
this
you
is the
kind of
weapon
can't.
of mass destruction Cypher was working on in Africa.
It may be. But if it is, how did the Yellow Cake and Walker Gears?
How indeed?
There must be something bigger we're not seeing. Anyway, our priority now is to prevent more casualties.
The medical team is studying the infection, but we can't treat anyone until we know the root cause. All we can do right now.
Root cause,
is halt
that's the name
spread
of,
infection.
One of the missions. I love this little area. It's a shame we can't go down here because it does look very nice. I feel like having a stream with a bunch of foliage in a, Middle Eastern, Afghanistan-based video game level would help set this game apart from most video game Middle Easts. But unfortunately, we can't go down there. But yeah, the game actually does have stuff to say about, connecting the threads of, okay, what are the Walker Gears, the unenriched uranium, and the bioweapons, the parasites. How are these all connected? Now, here's the thing. That's all in tapes with the most boring presentation imaginable that I'm trying to spice up by doing a little, horse tour through the, through ye old desert here. So most people aren't going to be aware of this. And I think the storytelling is pretty good and pretty interesting. But boy, the presentation is fucking terrible, man. Like, this stuff is very cool. It's quite interesting, but yeah, it just doesn't it just... This stuff should be a cutscene.
Remember
These
before
yellow
us,
tapes
when Quiet attacked one of our guys on Mother
should be
Base,
cutscenes.
stuck a knife in
Yeah,
his
we
mouth.
remember that. We just saw
He's one
that.
of the very few soldiers who've had contact with her recently. Close contact. I don't think it's a coincidence that he was among those who became symptomatic pretty early on in this epidemic. Saliva and blood spatter, an open wound, mucosal infection. Whatever is causing this got inside him then.
Miller, that is a baseless accusation.
The source of the infection.
Miller
is
making
quiet.
baseless
Everyone
accusations.
suspects her.
We don't know that. And we've come across these symptoms before. The bodies in the water at the oil field facility. Those sick people in the beds at the Devil's House. They're identical to what we've seen while we've been after Cypher. The infection could have come from elsewhere. But at the very least, she does know something.
It's not like she's gonna talk.
No, not through words anyway.
But perhaps
What
through
about her
deeds?
actions? Quiet held a knife to that soldier back then, before he became symptomatic. There must have been a reason for that.
A reason for shoving a knife down the throat of one of our men.
What if she's capable of identifying who's infected?
Yeah, so it's weird that they just talk about this during a tape. Because, yeah, essentially Quiet knew that guy was infected and was trying to deal with the infection.
You think there's some kind of clue in their mouths?
I don't know. But maybe there's something about the
But this
mouths of those who
absolutely
become
should be a
symptomatic, something in
cutscene,
common.
right?
Something their mouths have in common. Forget it. We can't trust her. Even if she can spot the infected, I don't want her help.
I understand how you feel. But this is something to go on.
Can't you see it's just like I said? Bringing her here was a big mistake. Quiet is gonna be the end of us.
Stand down. You've got zero proof. Try to keep an open mind on this, boss. There has to be a way to identify...
So yeah, they try and paint Quiet as the reason for the infection. But if you've been paying attention again, we were in the Devil's House. Which is still just so funny to say. We were in the Devil's House, and then we got those two researchers who were accusing each other of being infected. So, it's either we brought the pathogen with us, or one of those two infected, or maybe Quiet. It's like, there's like an actual mystery happening that you have to solve, and again, through having you have to quarantine your soldiers and find out what the correlation is between them.
Ever since the attack on your unit...
You know, you kind of have to unpuzzle the puzzle, and I think that's really neat. I genuinely really like that. But a lot of that should have been a goddamn cutscene, man. Maybe then people would know that this is a game about, you know, biological warfare.
Talking about you wherever they went helped to heal their wounds. Your actions...
Probably be a single cutscene acknowledging the outbreak before the outbreak, yeah.
Battlefield they've set foot on. Obviously, as the tales have spread, the truth's been
We've been here
distorted.
before, we remember that scene.
Big Boss sacrificed himself to show us the threat that Cypher poses. He sounded a warning. So it goes. A warning? Too much power destroys the hands that hold it.
Absolute power corrupts. Absolute.
I never said any of that.
I never
When
actually
any
said
truth is
that.
passed on, it starts turning into fiction. The problem is, fiction inspires people more than facts.
Hell yeah.
To the world, you're now the legendary...
Oh boy, is
mercenary
this
Big Boss.
franchise guilty of that.
The PFs are the reason they're so widespread.
People love spreading misinformation about the development of Metal Gear games because it inspires them more than the very boring fact that it's a messy, goofy video game.
Of all the stupid things you could do. They'll never understand what you really wanted. Heroes are misunderstood. It takes a man of the same caliber to understand what drives them. Bottom line is, these guys want to be like their hero, Big Boss. And deep down, they all have their eyes on nuclear weapons. They say that a nuke is the only means of standing against Cypher.
That's kind of the exact opposite of what we wanted to accomplish in Peace Walker, but okay.
And survive in a cutthroat business.
Currently, there are 3 major PFs who've expanded into Central Africa.
So yeah, this as well, the
CFA,
PFs
Rogue
in
Coyote,
Africa,
Zero Risk Security.
they don't like
HC's
fight each other like in
investigation has
MGS4
shown
or
there's
anything.
no
They're just
overlap
kind of
between their
there. It's a
areas
little
of
weird.
operation. It's not so much a turf war, more like they have a gentleman's agreement. If you do cross paths with them, you probably won't have to face more than one at a time.
See, they even spell that out. Yeah,
Don't expect
there's
to
3
walk in the
warring
park.
mercenary groups here. Yeah, you're never actually going to see that, though.
CFA, Contract Forces of Africa. These guys are a major
They
player.
each give them a little
Their
bit
head
of
office
lore,
is in
though, and it's
Pretoria,
kind of
South
funny
Africa.
because, you know, you might think, oh, maybe it is like MGS4. Maybe each of the PFs have their own...
An HEC investigation revealed that most of the CFA's operators are former SADF soldiers.
have their own, like, freak show boss commanding them, perhaps?
That means
No,
constant
unfortunately they
action.
don't.
And we know better than anyone that's the best kind of training. A company drawing its recruits from hardened military vets. You can bet they know how to handle themselves. Do not underestimate them.
I don't know, I've been kind of completely
Within
punking them out the
CFA
whole
is a
time.
company of soldiers made up mainly of locally hired operators. They speak Afrikaans to communicate with personnel from the CFA. But if you notice any speaking the local language, that's them. Though hired from the local population, they were originally part
And there's
of
like
the
a decent
paramilitary.
amount. I mean, you can see the
We'll have
tapes are
plenty
like
of
under a
combat
minute each, but
experience.
there's still a decent amount of
And
lore
unlike
about
their
all of
days
them.
shooting junkyard rifles out of beat-up pickup trucks,
Yeehaw! Sounds like a good
CFA
time
now
there.
supplies them with the latest
Junkyard
gear from the
rifles
West.
out of pickup trucks? Hell yeah,
On top of
brother.
that, they've
Think we
been
might be able to
combat
get along
trained
with
by
them
the
pretty
South
well.
African Army.
Can
All
I make that
adds
jump?
up to
I
a much
can.
stronger fighting force. So don't brush them off. Look at the Angola-Zaire border region. The east bank of the Munene River in particular. It's a microcosm of a problem that stretches all across Africa.
It's kind of interesting being able to just ride your horse with everything set to friendly, so it's just like, it's kind of a vibe. I kind of dig it.
Zaire is still a dictatorship under President Mobutu.
Again, you need a mod to
Numerous
make everything
uprisings
friendly,
have
but
broken
whatever.
out in its remote regions. With all the trouble elsewhere keeping their hands full, neither government has control over their side of the border. They depend on militias and PFs, as do the rebels. Government forces, guerrillas,
In other words,
militants,
it's a big old mess
groups
down
of all
there,
shapes
and
sizes on
actually none of
whatever
it's going to come up in
resources they
gameplay
can.
whatsoever,
Dire PFs.
because you're never going to see
Conflict
more than
brings
one
PFs.
faction
PFs
at a
expand the
time.
war
So,
zone,
you know,
and
all
more
of this
conflicts erupt in a
background
continuous chain
that we're
reaction.
building is kind of like for no reason.
Sounds like our kind of work. Mother Base could grow by leaps and bounds.
Okay. There's an Eli mod I should see? Okay, let's live react as we look at Rice Shower here. What is this thing I should see? Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's absolutely atrocious. Oh, that's horrible. We're not. I was like, maybe I'll show that on screen if it's particularly funny. No, it's just horrifying. That other mod mentioned though, yes, I will absolutely use that in a future mission. All right, let's see if there's any more tapes I wanted to listen to. Some of them will start to get into spoilers, but you know, let's see. Oh yeah, spread of walker gears. We did
Hard to
see
believe
that.
How many of those bipedal weapons have popped up around Africa? When did that start? No more than 6 months ago. Didn't really hit me until I came here. They're not supposed to be in
Okay.
use yet.
Oh, we have quite
Emmerich said
a
they
few
were
more
still
we
doing
can
the
listen
last round
to.
of fine-tuning. The doctor has no idea. His research has already hit the black market. Both sides of the Iron Curtain will have
Everyone's buying bootleg Metal Gears now.
Even so, they're spreading much too fast. Sure, the Walker Gears can operate in any terrain. Their mobility's just as good in the jungle as it is in the desert.
Good thing that's the only
Come
two
in
levels in
handy
the
in a
game,
place
jungle
like
and desert.
Africa. They are modules that can one day be used as nuclear weapon systems. And with that in mind,
How though? It's a
numbers
little
are way too
tiny
large. There must be
thing.
another reason they're so widespread. Like what? It's all about needs. To small-time outfits like most of these private forces, this product is a dream come true. Hell, it goes beyond PFs. This is the ultimate weapon, the forbidden fruit. For anyone with an enemy to fight and people
Is
to
it?
defend. A nuclear deterrent. Exactly. Sounds familiar, huh? PFs are all operating off your playbook. You created these times. But could this be the new weapon in Africa that Emmerich talked about? If it is, why is Cypher letting everyone and his brother get their hands on one? What comes next? Selling nuclear weapons in the open? Making them public property? Why don't they give that a try? Then the next war really will be fought with sticks. Right. The man we're dealing with isn't foolish enough to make a suicide pact with the world.
Oh, I need some of this.
What is Cypher really up to?
So yeah, walker gears, they're everywhere, but that doesn't really line up with what Emmerich was saying about how, you know, Sahelanthropus is the best robot, and all these other robots are just toys by comparison. Wonder if they have some sort of secret to them. Zero risk private security.
Zero risk security aren't as hardcore a military outfit compared to the other two.
So I think we've seen them, but we'll definitely see them in an upcoming mission. They're pretty interesting. They're the most, like, kitted out, properly outfitted of the private forces in Africa.
They're also based out of South Africa. Their headquarters is in Johannesburg. A lot of their work involves corporate security for South African companies, but a good number of their operators are retired South African military. So don't mistake them for a bunch of security guards.
They look like security guards, though. They're quite literally dressed like security guards. It's kind of funny. Except for the dudes with heavy gear. They look like robots. It's also very funny in a different way. It's like you're fighting against Paul Blart and also killer robots. Rogue Coyote,
operates,
which is a
mainly
badass
in
name.
these days. Of the 3 PFs, they're the smallest. However, they scooped up most of the Rhodesian SAS after the country
Which tape
collapsed
reveals
4 years ago.
all walker gears also require an
Picture their
infant
entire
and a small
organization
psychic
as
to work.
one
No,
big
that's
special
not their
forces unit.
secret.
With Rhodesia a British colony, the Rhodesian SAS had its origins in 22 SAS Sea Squadron. They started out as a group.
Never really
that
been
was
around
Southern
these little
Rhodesia
corners here,
volunteers.
so I'm kind of
But in
taking
51,
this
they were
opportunity to see if there's
incorporated
anything
into 22
interesting
SAS as members
terrain-wise.
of the British
Well, I
Commonwealth
probably can't go down
and
there.
deployed to fight guerrillas in the Malayan emergency. Even now, 22 SAS keeps the Sea Squadron designation empty in recognition of their service. In a way, you could say the SAS almost makes up the core of Rogue Coyote. Later on, they were bolstered by other talent, including former Cella Scouts and 32 Battalion. These guys are direct descendants of the best special forces in the world. They won't go down without a fight. Don't get careless.
Don't get careless.
Kungenga Mine. A civil war's been going on in
Remember
that
when
region
Mei Ling
for the
said
last
that?
20 years. It's being
That's
fought
not a
by what are
reference,
now
I just think
two
it's funny.
ethnic groups, the Buta and the Mbele. Originally, you could barely tell them apart. But the reason for the current armed conflict...
Hell yeah,
was
give us some
World War
real-world
I.
history, Miller.
After the war, their land was colonized by a European power, and it decided to give local control to the Buta. That split the two groups into rulers and subjects, laying the foundations for an inevitable civil war.
I don't think that's the tree that ends up being important, is it?
They won independence from Europe. The
Oh,
Buta
no,
are
we're
holding
way
on to
far away
power
from
to
that.
this day, and the Mbele rebels continue to fight back. The conflict is funded by locally mined gold, rare metals, diamonds. They've used the money from those to arm themselves, buy oil, and even hire PFs. The Buta
Squeeze through
administration
there.
owns the mining rights to Kungenga Mine. But most of the laborers are Mbele, who they've taken prisoner. The product they've gouged out of their land is bought up by cheap Western corporations.
Oh, those cheap
And the
Western
Civil War is
corporations
fueled
always
by the
buying up
profit.
stuff and never using
That's
it.
how it goes. One country's people is split apart by another country. Then the two groups tear up their own land for money in order to fight each other.
Yep,
Now this civil war started by a foreign power is the norm. And it's sucking up all the
we're all
country's
pawns fighting in
resources.
proxy wars.
PFs are just the same. They follow the money, taking war with them wherever they
Yep,
go.
who would do that?
Goes
Just be a
for us, too.
dirtbag private force? Yeah,
Then
yeah,
the
no,
rebels
yeah.
need retaliation, and we're standing downstream. Should we make a stand and staunch the flow? Or wade in amongst the corpses and make a bigger splash than the rest?
Why are you getting poetic
Follow
about
your
this,
lead,
Miller?
boss.
Can I fire you? I don't like the way... When you start talking about this stuff, you know, you don't have a very positive outlook on it, Miller. I don't know. Factory of the Dead.
Boss, about those invalids you saw in that devil's house.
Is that...
Poor bastards. All strapped down in the beds.
It's a little insulting to call them that.
The medical staff tell me they were probably a type of cyst.
Cysts can get that big.
In some cases, yes. But supposing they're a kind of atheroma forming on the surface of the skin, the size is just too big, and the appearance is all wrong. In the end, the medical team were at a loss. Those lumps were like nothing they'd ever seen. The fluid you said you got on your prosthesis when you touched one was burned off in the fighting. And the
So
factory
I
burned down,
probably
too.
didn't
None
bring
of
back
tests
the
we did
disease.
once you were back at the
Probably.
base revealed a pathogen that could have caused them. Meaning we don't have a single sample to work with.
Everything went up in flames.
What worries the medical team most is whether
Another
it's
sandstorm.
contagious. Whether there's a chance we could end up like that. And Mother Base's sanitation control is
That
always
line
been
read,
strict.
and...
After all, war is great at transporting diseases. For the time being, at least. There's no sign of contagion or any.
So obviously this
symptoms
is
that could be
before
related.
the outbreak happens.
One more thing. About the surgery that has been performed on the people in the Devil's House.
Yeah.
If
You
they're
said
giving
that
to
their
you as
throats were
tapes, you
cut
can
open
listen to it at any
with an
point, which
acoustic
is,
tube pushed inside.
you know...
Right. The tubes were hooked up to tape recorders playing some kind of audio.
Ah, yes, we heard some
picked up
Spanish.
Some of that audio through your radio transmissions and recorded
Hey,
it
look,
here.
we remember this
The
area.
intel team has been working on analyzing the communications log.
What have they found?
There's nothing tying the contents together. We've got a report on 3 deaths in a car accident on the autoroute near Marseille. Protests outside the Libyan embassy in London. A press conference with the former Prime Minister of Sweden. A 4-month-old weather forecast for Balikpapan. And then commercials for appliances, cough syrup, and TV dinners.
Oh,
Assuming they're
TV
not
dinner
all
sounds
staged,
good about now.
they come off as recordings of your average public broadcasts.
From
Public
viewers like you.
broadcast. Just radio and TV signals.
Yes, and from all over the world. We're looking into whether they're genuine or not, just to be sure. What else? A speech that sounds like it was recorded out on the street, and people chatting about how this year's tomato crop did.
And there's nothing they have in common?
We're partway through the cryptanalysis. That includes checking
Woo,
all
remember
audio
this?
ranges and
Uh.
running it backward and at different speeds. Then there's vocabulary breakdown for political suggestions, ideological comment points. And I don't think it's going to get us anywhere.
Sounds like a whole lot of
They're
language.
recording vein.
There's nothing linking them from that angle either. Just like you reported, we've detected virtually every major language there is. French, German, Italian, Spanish, including South American accents.
Yeah,
And
we
there's
heard some of
Russian,
that.
Hindi, Arabic, Portuguese, Mandarin, Cantonese, Japanese.
They're nothing if not thorough.
Well, I don't know if we've got them all covered. Ignoring the ones that have gone extinct, supposedly over 5,000 languages exist today.
Oh, thanks for that little bit of
English
trivia
is
there.
one of the ones we picked up.
What?
Really? English.
I know. Only 5% of the world's population is a native English speaker. But when you factor in those who've acquired it as a second language, nearly 1/3 of the people speak it. The world's dominant lingua franca. You gotta figure they have it somewhere among all the languages in that place.
No English.
Bear in mind, we didn't hear everything that was played in that room. We couldn't isolate the more distant sounds due to static and the program could have been set to change every day. In a nutshell, for reasons unknown, people in that room with a common medical condition were made to listen to recordings in languages from around the world. It's not clear how the growths on their chests fit into it. It could have been treatment for them, or maybe an experiment of some kind.
I'm guessing one person knows.
Yeah, Skullface. He was there. The only thing we can say for sure is that he's involved.
So yeah, no English. But considering they were doing some sort of disease research,
Boss,
and there was every other language there, you might start to piece things together. And if you were paying attention to who you were quarantining, and you know who was infected and what the commonality was, it was that they all happened to speak a particular language, Kikongo. There's a connection there. You can probably start to figure out how this disease transmits. Strapped to a bed infected with something and having La Cucaracha piped into your lungs? Hell yeah, man. Yep, the Linguini Francesca, that's absolutely correct. The, the Cunnilingus fellatio, that's absolutely what he's talking about. Weird that this is the 80s, but you're reading out a Wikipedia page, Kaz? Yeah? Yeah? Hey, remember the Man on Fire?
I wanted to ask you about the man on fire. What do you remember from the hospital? Anything we can use? Well, He took off the moment the sprinklers started up. Sprinklers? The fire system? And when he got sprayed with water from the burst pipe, it slowed him down. When we escaped on horseback, he wouldn't cross the river either. And then it started to rain. And he disappeared. Water against fire. Is it that simple? I mean, it makes sense. It's just hard to believe it would work on a guy like that.
It's funny how, like, disappointed he is. He's like, oh, really? Water? That's it? I think the other Man on Fire tapes I'm not supposed to listen to yet. Let's see.
You mentioned that the Man on Fire was
Whoa, oh, whoa, 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 hey, 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 hey. Let's hear about the White Mamba.
Nyokayam Pembe. He's the commander of the kids based out of Wala Yamasa. As you know, contract forces of Africa were stationed at that village. Anti-government forces hired CRS to bring kids there from around Africa for training. But at some point, the adults with the PF started...
I wish there was a little
This was right
subtitle
after we
with the
arrived in
tapes that
Africa.
was
We
like,
don't know the cause.
after mission
The kids ended
whatever,
up on
you
their
know?
own. Must
So
have
so
been
you would
shallow
know.
water.
Oh, look at
Nothing
this.
to
I've never
eat,
noticed
no
this
way to get
structure
back
before.
home. All the adults taught them was how to use a gun. Sure, they could shoot targets, but hunt for food? Not likely. They wouldn't have lasted long. Then
Never
the White
seen this
Mamba
before.
showed up. He was faster and stronger than them.
Bigger,
Better
faster,
soldier,
stronger
and
too,
he
yeah.
had the lead. I guess somebody
He's
wished
the
upon a
first
star,
member of the
as their
Les Enfants
savior
Terribles
turned up
crew.
like stardust straight out of the blue.
What?
The moment he arrived, the kids had their new commander. That was when
Did
they
you-
started attacking other
Cuz, why are you getting so poetic
Or
with
the
some of
infamous
these? Talking
White
about
Mamba spread
wishing on a
fast.
star and getting
But it isn't
stardust.
just his
What the
combat skills that
fuck?
got people talking. As you can tell from the name, he's the only light-skinned kid in the unit. Not to mention the blonde hair and the blue eyes. Not common in those
Yeah,
parts.
really
We
weird
have no
that that
idea
keeps
where he
happening
came
in these
from or what
games.
he's experienced.
That there's a bunch
Kid's
of
a
white
huge
people where
blank.
there should be black
But
and
I'm sure
brown
you'll know
people,
it when
and
you see him.
always the white people are in a
He's still a kid,
commanding
so don't kill
position.
him. Be careful not to hit him with anything lethal.
Let's
even a
not think
flesh
about
wound.
that too much.
Our mission objective isn't just suppressing a bunch of militants. This is a DDR operation of the kids in the
Yeah,
unit.
Dance Dance Revolution. The
DDR
kids
stands
love it.
for
We know that.
disarmament, demobilization,
Oh.
and reintegration. Disarmament is obvious. We take their weapons off their hands. The demobilization part means dismantling their military organization to ensure they can't arm themselves again. To do that, you need to capture the unit's commander and have him order his men to disband. In this case, the commander is the White Mamba. There's nobody above him, so he's all we need to grab. Finally, reintegration. Through education and occupational training, we give them a means to live besides war. A lot of kids born in a war zone don't know any other way to live. So before they find themselves back there, we teach them another skill. I'd like to establish this rehabilitation process at Mother Base.
Oh, how
That's why
charitable
we're
of you,
bringing those
Kaz.
kids back here. It's not so much for their sake. It's for the world
Show them
we're
this.
trying
This
to
is how you
create.
get food in the
No other
wild.
way about it. Those kids are amateurs. Bad for business to have them running around where we're trying to work. Bring them all back if possible. Or as many as you can.
All right. So I think that's all we're going to listen to for now. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Whoa, don't listen to... Don't read too many of these, because, whoa, they're just named after spoilers. Yeah, a whole lot of information there. Again, not a whole lot that we didn't know, just kind of,
Roger.
you know, kind of putting out the breadcrumbs there for you, letting you know that, yeah, there is a story going on in the background of this game. It's there. Some of it's even pretty good. Have you been noticing it, though? Did you see it? Did you see it? Probably not. Most people didn't. Honestly, I didn't even listen to these my first time through. Anyway, let's get the hell out of here. By this point in the game, you've kind of figured out that, okay, for some reason, speaking Kikongo is making our dudes get sick. And they have the same, you know, bioweapon symptoms as the bodies we saw at the oil refinery and the bodies in the Devil's House. There's something there with that. Something going on.